Page 56, Valse, or waltz actually. 3/4 time, well it's a waltz, that makes sense. Waltzes are in 3/4 time. Got one sharp in the key signature and F sharps. So we're in the key of G major, I reckon. Make sure you do the scale on G major. Take the right hand first. 1 and 2 here. Basically you're in this position, but the thumb's going to be covering 2 notes, that's all. And this will change a little bit, but basically it's it. So it's here. 1 and 2 and 3 and. It's got a dotted rhythm already, right? So be careful. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and. Don't read the finger numbers, please. Just read the notes. Now, they're telling you here, this is the 4th measure over where you have the E flat, to use 3rd finger again. And here, that's okay. You can also use 2nd finger and here. Either 3rd or 2nd you're going to use twice. Which one you do is up to you. Their fingering is fine. And then the 2nd line, 2nd measure. Look out. Here, here. Cross over the little finger to the G sharp, and then it's a C, F sharp, A. Now this movement of crossing over the 4th finger and little finger, this is common in piano. It's a little more advanced, but it would be well worth your while to kind of try and use that when there's times it really comes in handy to play legato, so this kind of a move is a good move. I like this very much. And then the chord here, and then 2nd finger on the D. Now, top of page 57. You're playing this 2/4 at the beginning of the 1st measure. Problem is now you're out of position for this DB. So we got to fix this. I don't know why they didn't give you a finger number here, because it's kind of important here. You got to change positions. They should have given you a finger number. What I'm suggesting you do is at the top of page 57, the 1st note you're going to play 2/4, because that's coming back. Start with the last measure of 56. You're here. And now we're going to 2/4, but for the dotted quarter note, change it to 1/3. Now you're in position to go on. Like that. And then 3rd measure, it's here. And then here you got C sharp. And then here, thumb goes down. Hold the D down, it's a dotted half note as you play these. You got 2 voices. You see the D, the dotted half note, the stem goes down, and the quarter notes, the stem goes up. This is the way in music where we can indicate 2 separate voices when they're doing different things. Now when the voices are like at the beginning of the page on 57 where they're together, they'll combine the stems. They didn't have to. They could have the top note stem going up and the bottom note stem going down to indicate 2 voices. Or they could do it the way they're doing it. But then when the voices separate and start doing different things, they got to put stems on each one so you know which voice is doing what. That's the way it's done. The point is there's 2 voices here in this is the last measure, the 1st line. 2 voices, and you have to indicate both. There has to be 3 beats in the measure for each voice. This is where it gets tricky. And then the next measure, again, 2 voices, just come down. Here, hold it down, and then we're back to here. So the thumb, that's okay. There's other fingerings, but let's just go with this. This is fine. And that takes us back to doing the stuff we were doing before. Let's jump down to the bottom, the last line. Well, take the last measure of the 3rd line. You're here, here, and here. No. Here, do a 1/4 for the BG, and so you got 5th finger ready for the A. And then for the last line, you just bring the thumb up. And then 4th finger on the G's. And 1, 2, here, there's a couple ways we can do this. I'm going to suggest you go ahead and use, for the 8th note, 2, and then do a 1-5. Like so if you can. If that's too quick for you, then for the 8th note, come up and do a 1. Here. I prefer 2 because it's a repeated note, and I like to use different fingers. This gives me a way of doing that. And then the C sharp B flat is a 1-4, and then a 1-5, and then a 1-4. It's the top note. That's what I'm after, and I want that legato, and the thumb's covering the rest of it. That's what. And then that's tied. You hold that down for 4 counts. There's some trickiness going on in the fingering. You need to work this out. Make sure you got all the hesitations out of the way here before you start adding more stuff. So work this out in the right hand carefully. The left hand is just supporting it. Keep it soft, as 4th note is pretty simple. It's just 1, rest, rest. 1, rest, rest. You're just reinforcing the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Whatever the notes are, I can't play it, but that doesn't matter, does it? Let's go to the top of page 57. You got to move. 3rd finger on the B. And then 2nd finger, see that's a little awkward, but that's okay because we need 2nd finger on the C sharp. Now they're saying 4th finger, not necessary. You can use 5th again if you want, because you got rest, you got time to move, and then thumb. Now there's no rest, so connect these. Reach down with a little finger, and then back to what you were doing before. Oh boy, let's go down 3rd line. Here, and then a half note. 1, 2, rest. Then come up, F natural. 3rd finger, 4th finger, and then F sharp there. And I suggest you stretch out and do a 2-5. You're in this position, which is a very common position. So it's another way of doing it is move it and do a here. That's more of a beginner type, and I'm encouraging you to use a little more advanced fingering here. It prepares you for what's coming. So just reach out. Once you can do that, try putting the hands together slowly. Now we're just interested in notes and rhythms here and fingering. Go to the top of page 37. You're here. Now watch this fingering carefully. There. Work that out so there's no hesitations in those measures. So it's here. Now here. See the right hand moved, the left hand didn't. So you're going from here. No hesitations in that. You may have to spend a bunch of extra time on those 2 measures to work that out. Then you go back to what you were doing before. Let's go down to the 3rd line. The last couple measures is here. Try and connect it as best you can. At least the top note. Lift up here, rest, and then the rest. Tricky. I went through that kind of fast. You need to take this at your speed when you're working this out. So just work it out. In those places where you're hesitating, spend extra time on those and work out that hesitation, because the beat's got to be steady. If people were to try and dance to this and you were playing it, would they be able to dance to it? Because they would be going along 1, 2, 3, and you'd stop suddenly and they, what? So take it slow. The speed is andante, which is a nice walking pace. It's like if you're going for a stroll, just a casual stroll, you just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's fine. That's a good speed. Now, not a lot in articulation. Play it legato as best you can in the melody. So in the left hand, just make sure you play all the rests. Be quiet on these rests. Don't hang over these quarter notes. Dynamic, it says soft. That's the melody. That's the top note. Now if you can't bring out, I mean, you're playing two notes, and it's kind of hard to play one note louder than the other. You have to be able to do it eventually. But right now you may not be able to do it. That takes some practice and some control. So in that case, playing the same, but softly. That means the left hand has to be very soft. There you're gonna, second line, second measure, you're gonna crescendo up to a sort of a soft. Don't get too loud, just a little soft. Go here to here. Take your time. Then come back down to soft. Now here at the top of page 57, third measure, you're going to crescendo again up to a medium soft, sort of. Just stay there. Second line, then you come back down, and there's a poco ritardando there. You see it between the poco ret. Slow down a little. Poco's a little. Ret is short for ritardando. Slow down. So you're kind of lingering on this. And then all tempo means go back to the speed you were going before you slowed down. Third line, you got that crescendo again. Just up to a medium soft. Don't get too. And then the last line, you crescendo up to a medium soft. Then come down. So the dynamics have to be felt. You got to be comfortable enough with the piece that you can play it without thinking too much on notes and rhythms and everything. Everything's sort of automatic. And that way you can lose yourself in the music. And then the tempo will come and the dynamics will come, and you'll feel it different on different days, so you'll play it differently, and that's wonderful. Don't always play something exactly the same. Ugh. It's a beautiful piece. This is a piece you can play for people if they'd like to hear you play something. That etude above it is kind of nice too. Let's play it together slowly. I'm not doing any dynamics. I just want to double check the notes and the rhythms. So I'll give us 3 counts and we'll go through it. 1, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. Three